ഹായ് നമസ്തേ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ്. ഓക്കെ, ഇനിയും കുറച്ച് നാളത്തെ my episodes are going to be plainly and mainly on the package tours. That's on the tourism. I have a certain volumes of experiences which I should call as bold, beautiful, and also a little painful experiences in life as a tour leader. That is what I'm going to give you today and onwards. Before that, I also want to dedicate this episode to many of the wonderful tour operators who are not only in Kerala, in India, and all over the world. Because all the tour leaders, all the tourist squads who take the groups of 10 or 50 or 40 or 100 or even 500 members at a time, they all face either this or similar experiences, maybe worst also. Unfortunately, we over here, or say fortunately we here, we treat as Mahatma Gandhi said, rather quoted, that the customer is the king and the god. So when this is mainly applicable to our tours on the tourism, the travel and tourism industry is absolutely befitting to this principle. That is, our customer is a king and a god. But in any way, the king means it's God. The earlier, anywhere they call Tamburan means king, that's God. So God also we call Tamburane. So this way, when you talk about, particularly in tourism and travel industry, the customers are king and God more than any other industry. For example, I'll tell you why and how it is. I am not offending anybody, but I just want to just give an explanation, an example. If a doctor takes care of a customer, a patient, after all the surgery, if the God is not willing to allow him to live, he might collapse. But no hospital or doctor says, I don't want the money for it, or give the refund of that money which he paid. Would they? No. Same way, when advocate, a lawyer, deal with a case, it could be in crores, definitely in lakhs. When even if the case fails, utterly fails, at the final stage also, they are not going to say, I'll refund all the money. So is the case with the entertainment industry also, that if a movie fails utterly, I haven't heard, except one or two occasions, some of the very noble actors would have told, I don't want the fees as such. But nobody says take the full refund. So is the case with the chartered accountants. That's also the service industry. When they do the work, for some reason, some of his staff's mistake, some of the client's mistake, some mistakes, officials' mistake, if they found a minus point mistake, the income tax officials or GST officials, whoever, when they charge them, nobody says, I don't want the money, refund it. Neither the staff concerned nor the other officials concerned. Now, only place where the full refund is asked with the travel agent. When the travel agent's mistake, not, maybe, could be a small error in the transaction or in the communication, or could be in the reservation, or could be in the PNR printout, anywhere if there is a small mistake and the client happened to miss the flight, or he could not, due to some information of flight timings, etc., the client would ask for the full and complete refund because I could not utilize it. Even because of the mistake of the clients, at times they miss the flight, they still ask for the full refund. They always have some cooked up stories, correct? This I'm 100% dedicating to my community, which is the travel and tourism industry. I do not know in the past how many of them have done it, but I would like to do it because I have been in this industry for so many years. If people like me does not voice, nobody would voice. This also would be something I'm doing good in my own way, a charming thing for the future generation who are aspiring to be good tour operators and travel agents. Okay, all right, let's go ahead. The first experience of mine I'm giving for America. Okay, all right. Ready to hear my beautiful experience? Yeah. I'm not giving the name of the passengers nor names of the staff members because that will offend them. No. Because it is nobody's mistake. It just happened so. എന്താ പറയാ ഗതികേട് ഓക്കെ ഒരു 10 പേരടങ്ങുന്ന ഒരു സംഘം ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്ത് നിന്ന് അമേരിക്കയ്ക്ക് പോവുകയാണ്. ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഗ്രൂപ്പായിരുന്നു 40 പേരുടെ. പക്ഷെ അവർക്ക് ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്ത് തന്നെ പോകണം, ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്ത് നിന്ന് തിരിച്ചു വരണം. അപ്പം 10 പേരായി കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ അവരുടെ ഒരാളും മാറി. അപ്പോൾ 9 പേരേ ഉള്ളൂ. സോ ദിസ് ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഓഫ് 9 members, they wanted to go together and come back together in the same flight. So our flight was going from Cochin to New York and back from San Francisco to Cochin. Whereas this group would like to go from Trivandrum to New York and San Francisco back to Trivandrum. You know, the Emirates flight goes via Dubai. But we also have Etihad flight to take via Abu Dhabi. So we had taken the group via Etihad, Dubai Emirates, and this group had no choice but to take the flight from by Etihad via Abu Dhabi. It was a great experience, by the way, a money losing experience too. The group went beautifully, finally to America. It was about some 21 days to or something like that, and they were to come back. The other group left from San Francisco back to India. Now some of them stayed back. Now this group of 9 members, they had to come back from San Francisco to Trivandrum. The staff concerned, beautifully well experienced lady. She did all her work, collected the very little money, what exactly the minimum, because it's a package tour, we need to have the number of passengers to fill the group. The net amount for the airline ticket we had taken, so it's everything as such. When she booked the ticket for that purpose, everything fine, issued the ticket same way. It was all fine. They went to New York and they finished New York, Niagara Falls, Washington, Las Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, and final was from Los Angeles on a cruise. The cruise finished and they came back to San Francisco. From San Francisco, the flight is coming back. Now they board the flight like everybody. They got down at Abu Dhabi. They went for a small shopping in Abu Dhabi because they had about 2 hours time for the next flight. They went for a shopping, they came back and they approached the counter for the flight. The boarding pass was shown. That's the time the flight counter staff said, this flight you cannot go. Why we cannot go? This is not your flight. Your flight is tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. This is happening in the evening at about 8 o'clock Abu Dhabi time around. Why? We were supposed to go by this flight. No, your flight is not this. Your flight is tomorrow afternoon 2:30 flight. Then till then what do we do? Sorry, you can do whatever, but you cannot go out. You don't have a UAE visa. At that time, the UAE visa was, I'm talking about a couple of years back, maybe about 4 or 3 years back. You cannot. You can only remain at the airport. If you have a visa, you can go out. Otherwise, you cannot go out. And you have to catch only next afternoon flight. The client immediately, naturally, contacted us. 1 or 2 numbers some of the staff members did not pick up. Of course, then it came to me. It was about, I think, something about 8 o'clock in the night or something. I got this first call. He said this, so I was wondering when he's talking, his daughter was talking to me. See, we don't have the flight, we can only come tomorrow afternoon, where do we go and stay, what shall we do? So I thought that they have probably stayed back in UAE and they're taking the next flight. So I'm saying that I didn't get the clue properly because they did not say this is the tour they're taken and things like. It is an international call. They had very little money in the mobile phone. They were not able to get the WhatsApp call. UAE it is not allowed. And then I requested them to specify what exactly is going on. Then I heard the whole story that this is what the airline staff said. Why? Now it was a Saturday night. It's a holiday that day and the next day also holiday with the airlines. Then finally I caught hold of my concerned staff and found the matters, and after about half an hour of our own investigation we found that what happened is, when she made the reservation at the CRS, you know, in the CRS, when you make the reservation for San Francisco, Trivandrum, they get San Francisco, Abu Dhabi, Trivandrum, 2 segments. So in the segments, when you have to click the particular flight which you need, sometimes the system you get straight away the flight which is connecting. Sometimes there will be 1 or 2 or 3 flights if there are more flights to connect. Unfortunately, when this girl did the work, she could get only the flight which is at 2 o'clock. The 2 o'clock flight, 2 o'clock the next day. She mistook this 2 o'clock, the flight number was the same which she was looking to as such. She mistook the flight as the flight which is connecting flight from the Abu Dhabi to San Francisco, Trivandrum. The moment when they click, you press the mouse and that's reserved. And then you are not looking into it. Then you are straight away issuing the ticket. So since it was a last minute proposal and last minute finalization, she did not go into much because the fare of that flight will keep changing. Now the fare which is given to the customer would keep jumping as the seats in the particular flight are reducing. So what she did, she immediately in a hurry-burry way issued the ticket. The result was nobody checked it. She probably mistook the flight to be the next connecting flight. And when the clients went, finished the tour, when they were coming back at the Abu Dhabi airport, this was found. There is no go for them to change the flight because it is a special fare ticket, already ticketed, and almost 90% is availed, utilized, because Trivandrum, Abu Dhabi, New York, San Francisco, Abu Dhabi is completed, so almost 95% of the mileage is over. So for this 10%, they would not allow another airline to take off. Now here they are. Now the group of 9 members to be provided the sleeping arrangements. They cannot go out and take the flight, the hotels, and inside the airport there are minimum possibilities at that time, at that particular minute, to get the hotel accommodation confirmed. It's very expensive. You need to have money, dollars, not Indian rupees. And we can't reach in that particular night, at Saturday night, the money anyway. No way to reach. I had a tough time till I think almost 11:30, 12 o'clock. I was trying to pacify my very valued clients. You know, the clients are very valued, as I said, Mahatma Gandhi said, God and King. So we also believe the most of the Asians, we have a say, something yet, I'm not getting it now, later I would say that. So we are the Aditi here, and that's Aditi. Aditi Devo Bhava, or Bhuva, whatever it is. So when Aditis are concerned, they have all the right, they're the God and the King. Now we Aditi here are the servants, naturally. That's the way our tourism industry is going on. When we do the work, we are at the service, and till the time they come back, we are at the service. We cannot even 1 minute get released. It is not like any other industry. Until the clients come back, though none of them are our own made. The flights are not ours, the hotels are not ours, the guides are not ours, the transportation is not ours, cruise is not ours, the parks, entrances, even a car, nothing is ours. Everything is bought from outside and coordinated and assembled and presented. So this assembling is concerned we are doing. So when the assembling we are doing, we become eventually the manufacturer for the clients, which is actually not true. Anyway, understanding is that I paid the money to your office and you give the service or you give the refund. Right? Now, after about 12 o'clock, we made the arrangements, not by maybe 11 o'clock at night, we made the arrangements for the sleeping pod with the airline staff and the management, and they were comfortably put in the sleeping pod to sleep, and also got the next flight is anyway confirmed, and there was no other flight to come back. Then they came back the next flight, but after coming back, we had a rat from the customers otherwise also. But this particular customer, the head of the family, was very nice person, truly a very respectable person. I still remember his face, and I remember his words. Madam, whatever happened is happened. I have no grudge against you. Of course, my people felt quite bad because they went through a little bad time. Now decide what you want to do, what you have to do if you have to get us back. So I spoke to my staff concern. We made a decision that X amount we will refund them. So accordingly, we requested the staff concern to make some contribution, and the balance the company took. Somehow we made the customers happy. We spoke several times after we come back to pacify, to make him happy, like we are here, you're not just leaving you or ignoring you. So this was one experience. It is a limelight for everyone to understand that having a small little careless thoughts, just for a second's friction, what it makes a group of people, and how much the financial trouble which the tour operator has to go through, though it is no way actually connected, but is connected fully for everything. This had happened when I was working for SOTC. I think it was in 1984. That means almost about 17 plus 20, 37 years back. I was going as again an assistant tour escort, but eventually after reaching into America, I became the head of that particular bus group. There was 2 groups of 40 members each. I had my senior tour leader. She was a Maharashtrian. She was a person who lived in America with green card for so many years, and she's well versed about America. I am, of course, a new person as such. Going for the first time, I was going to America. Here we had in those days the in-between flight tickets. In America we had at that time a main ticket which takes from Mumbai to America to New York, and coming back from New York to Mumbai via Dubai or via whichever, maybe Frankfurt, maybe London. If it's United Airlines, it is a different destination, and if it's Lufthansa, it's different, like Frankfurt. If it's British Airways, it was London. So it was like that. It was not Emirates or Qatar those days, as I told you, 1984. So we had gone with this group, and we have traveled by coach some of the sectors like New York, Niagara, Washington. Now from Washington, we had to go to, I remember, to San Francisco, I suppose, yes. So it was a long journey. And to go to Washington to San Francisco, we had a ticket called VUSA, which was Visit United States of America, a coupon system, which had 7 coupons, 12 coupons, 4 coupons, like those systems. So that was coming for, like for example, 5 coupons or 4 coupons ticket would come for $399 or $299 with X number of days validity. There were quite a number of rules and regulations attached to it. Not like today we take a sort of, there is a segment, a ticket segment, like for example New York to Buffalo or Washington to San Francisco, it's segment ticket. We can take with whichever airline you wish to, whichever cheaper. But that's very expensive now. When in those days, this VUSA coupon, that is Visit United States of America coupons, were much cheaper. For example, if you get for $299 this ticket, that takes you to 3 places. Now that very $299 required for one segment, But these VUSA tickets often either issued here or sometimes issued abroad. Now in our case, till the last minute while going, some of the sectors were not confirmed. So we were not issued the VUSA ticket here. After reaching over there, my senior tour leader, her group got the VUSA ticket and she went through. Now my group, because I'm the assistant naturally, so always given a second hand kind of, or whatever. We got this. I got the group at the airport, and it was early morning, and it's getting night in India. I didn't get these tickets, so I called my boss and I asked what to do. Now my boss is Mr. Ranjit Malkani in America, in Mumbai, and I have lots of respect for him. I have lots of regards for him. I treat him next to my mother. I will give you the story of him later, another episode of mine. He told me, do one thing, you give some numbers as MCO. I said, how can I give some numbers? Oh, that's a MCO number you get. You can check with X person in our office. But it is Sunday, it is Saturday early morning, And the Sunday evening in Mumbai, nothing is possible at that time generally because everybody closes the office by that time. But our SOTC office still opens during those days also because we had a huge traffic and we were all dedicated staff very much. We call SOTCNs. So when after some day he called me and told me that this is the number. This number you give them and you will be allowed to fly with the group. With happiness, I showed this number to the airline staff. I said, this is the MCO. And this is the MCO for the value of the tickets to go to Washington, San Francisco, and I give the other balance sectors also. This lady took this number without even checking. She gave the tickets to us, and in '84, we went to. After reaching in San Francisco, my boss calls me and tells me, that's not the number, this is another number. I was quite surprised. How did they allow us to come? It was a mere luck. Believe me, if she had to go through with the numbers like today, those days computer was not so much in viability, feasibility. If there was some mistake occur, we would not have been allowed to travel. Anyway, we traveled. This was one of the, exuberated experience which I had with a group of so many passengers. It was a bold step I had taken to take this number and go to her. It was a miraculous escape for them to allow us to travel with so many members, and none of my customers knew what happened in between. Actually, what happened is staff members gave another group number, and this group number, MCO number, was different. Of course, the payment was done. Okay, அடுத்த episodes matters are again to America. This has happened something about, I think, 6 or 7 years back. Not much late, not much early. Again, I had a group of something about 30-35 members. We were going from Buffalo to Las Vegas via Washington. So Buffalo, Washington, Las Vegas was our flight. It is a connecting flight, but one segment taken as an interconnecting flight. With the group of 35 members, the flight was about, I think the flight was at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we had to reach over there by 7 o'clock. That's 2 hours before the security check-in time. So to reach 7 o'clock in the morning, we have to leave our hotel by at least by 5:45, because it's about 1 hour drive and we have to keep 15 minutes gap in between for safety and security. So 5:45 if you have to leave means we should have the breakfast coming at about 5 o'clock at least, and then should get up by about 3:30, 4 o'clock, because we have to be ready to go. So we give the warning alarm. Imagine 3:30. The people got up at 3:30, and we are all at the airport after a packed breakfast at about 7 o'clock, just before 7 o'clock. So we were very happy. We reached early. So we kept all the luggage. As usual, what I do is whenever I reach a particular airport in America, so if I have a group, first thing is I take the list of the passengers with the PNR number and the ticket numbers, and first I proceed to the counter of the particular airline and to request them to give a group check-in if possible to allow, because of the security reason. Generally nowadays they don't do. The last 7-8 years they don't allow. However, I keep asking this, at least, they would allow a particular staff, an agent, to help us, so that, our people, we cannot do this kiosk check-in. That's what they expect us to do. So to avoid doing this kiosk check-in, there are many problems. Should know one problem while doing the kiosk check-in for any airline is they ask about the luggage. Now here in India, to avoid this problem, we include the luggage cost in the flight ticket before we before we take the flight, be ready to fly. so that we don't have to have this hassle of paying for the luggage again. And sometimes when we take over there, we get 25 kilos and plus 7 kilos. But whereas when we go to buy over there, they only allow 20 kilos. That's about 23 kilos, about 50 pounds. So to avoid this, we do it over here. Not only that, we cannot pay the money to the airline at the counter. We got to give in the form of a credit card. So this, many of our customers, mostly they are above 60, 65 years old. They may not have this credit card facilities. They may not be using that too. But I'm talking about 7 years back. Here also many people didn't have a credit card, and we have included all the people's luggage in the flight ticket. Anyway, we reached over there, we kept all the luggage in line, and all the members stood in line, and I approached this agent. I said, this is all our aged clients, so passengers, so I won't be able to do kiosk check-in. Could you please help us to do the check-in? He said, yeah, okay, no problem, I'll just put another person. The supervisor said. I was very happy. And I waited for about 5 minutes. Supervisor came and started taking one by one. Okay, come one by one. So the first two couples went like that. About I think 10 or 12 people finished checking. That's the time they got my name in the list. So that was given Nalina Podawal. Now as per our Indian passport, when we did this the passport long ago, in the passport application form, generally you have the name, the given name, the surname, it goes like that, the middle name. So the person who writes the application form, if it is not really looked properly, even now today everybody is doing this mistake. The given name means first thing itself they write the full name. So if my name is Nalina and the surname is Puzawal, okay, now the name, when you say given name, the person who writes the application form, that time they write Nalina Puzawal on the first line itself, finished. Then the middle name, there is no name, surname, no name, just left off. Now this is written same way, Nalina Pudawal. Now the American visa also says Nalina Pudawal in the first name. Now they have a question, the first name, the middle name, the last name. That is FNU means first name unknown. If the name is not known, if there is no name in the first name. Sometimes the whole name will be written in the last name. That is Nalina Pudawal in the last name. So what we have a practice over here, that is a practiced successful experience. That is, when we don't have the full name, if it happens to be falling in the last name of the passport where it's mentioned, we say first F, name NU unknown, that is FNU. So in the first name that place we put FNU, means first name unknown. Then if the name is given in the last name in the passport, then there we put the name Nalina Pudawal. In my case, it was the first name, it was Nalina Pudawal. There is no last name mentioned as Pudawal. It has to be split as Nalina and Pudawal, which is not practiced over here at that time when the passport was made. And the passport is made about 40 plus years back, and that's just been followed, copied. It is not gone to rectify again. Now here, the moment she saw the passport of mine, she says this name is wrong. No, I said this name is correct, there's my passport. No, there is only first name, Nalina Pudawal, no last name. I said, yeah, last name is LNU, that is last name unknown. No, that is not enough. We need to have two names. So what to do? She said, you have to take another ticket which says Nalina as the first name and Pudawal as the last name. Then it's okay. Then what about this ticket? That I don't know. You ask your agent in India. Now the agent is ourselves. To whom to ask? I know it. You cannot get the refund. Because in America, once you issue the auto ticket, when you paid for it, whether the flight takes off or not take off, you don't travel, you travel, you will not get any refund for this kind of airline, Spirit Airlines kind of. This also was United Airlines or Spirit Airlines. It is no way to argue with them, because if you argue, she will threaten you. For everything, they have one answer, that is, as per federal rule, we cannot do this. So everything they put on to the name federal. And we, particularly coming from Asian countries, we do not have much say in it. We just have to accept it, what they say. You want to travel, not only you have about another 35 members to travel. So there is no way you can argue with them. No argument. Just somehow please and get going. Okay, then mine is kept. Then next person, I said, okay, take next person. Keep it pending. I started thinking what to do. After one person, one couple, again same problem. So like that there were about 5 people, 4 and plus myself, 5 people. This same problem. So 30 members are checked in, everything is taken, the tickets have been, the luggages have to be labeled, tagged, and passport is taken already, and they have to just issue the boarding pass to us. Because a group ticket check-in they had done. Now she said, no, these 5 people, she wants the 5 members to issue a new ticket, which is coming something per ticket about $300 odd per person. That means it's about more than $1,200 we have to pay on the spot to get going. And I knew it is a wrong practice. It's a mistake on her part. It makes no sense because the visa which we have, including my visa, American visa, which is 10 years validity. Before that, I think that was at that time the 25th or 28th or 30th year of my visa running. Like for the last 35 years, I have the visa for America continuously, right from 1983 onwards. So there is no way that they could say no, because all the time I had traveled as Nalina Pudwal, the first name, and last name LNU. So when last name unknown, the American visa itself, the stamped visa itself give explanation. There is no reason for them to be upset, and we have traveled all over. I tried my best to explain, they said no. Not only that, she said, unless you, I said okay, let this 30 people go, we will issue another ticket or whatever, we'll try and we'll go later. She said no, you have to travel the complete 35 members group. Otherwise, unless these 5 people take the new tickets, I will not let other 30 members to travel. That's a big blow to me. I just do not know what to do because the money was short at that time, and I didn't want to forgo this money because I knew she was a mistake. It was her mistake completely. It's a wrong practice. I was waiting, time went off. Now you had to board the flight, you had to go through the security, and there is no other go. And I started talking to my customers what to do, and they started firing at me. Instead of convincing me, explaining me, giving solace to me, they started firing at me. You people did not issue tickets correctly, that is why this problem. And I said, no, it is not because tickets not issued. Sikhs, listen to her. No, that is none of the matter which they are concerned. They just said, issue the new ticket and let us go. And not only this, even luggages have to be again paid. That will come another more than $500. This was becoming a big nuisance to me. So I asked, I was just holding my head and I was thinking, concentrating, focusing as what to do next. And I definitely started praying what to do. I was meditating what to do. Give me a solution, my God. Suddenly I raised my head and I asked her, where is going to be the problem? See, you said you cannot issue ticket. That's because of something. The flight will not say I can't take her. The security will not say I can't take her. Where is the problem happening with the name? Because in the American visa it is very clearly mentioned. So she said suddenly it's immigration. I said, we are not going through an immigration. This is inside. That's secure, immigration security. They will not allow you to go with this kind of a name unless we issue the new ticket. And then the new ticket, what you say, and the passport will be different then again. Then we have to change the passport. She said, I don't want to argue with you. You want to travel or I'll offload all the 35 members. She literally claimed I will offload all the 35 members. She was getting irritated. She was getting fumed. Because when we little black tagged people go and ask something, they think that we are ignorant, we don't know many things. So we cannot argue here. If it's a white person, sometimes they'll be able to argue and get things going. She, I know, will not listen to me. So for a minute I thought I should do something. I suddenly marched to the security and I met the security person, the immigration person, so-called. I said, there is a problem. I have a group of 35 members. They are not allowing us to board because 5 members' name says FNU or LNU. And this is explained him. And I showed my passport and I said, this is the matter. And they say it is not the airline, the immigration department will not allow them to board in because of the names different. But if I issue the ticket as that, what she says, but then my passport will again say show different. So how is that going to help? Oh, he said, yes, you are right. What to do? I said, you please come and explain her. So he said, go and talk to my senior. That is his boss. So I went to him. He came. He accompanied me. And he explained him this problem. He said, okay, no problem, I'll come. He came immediately. So helpful. Miraculous. He came to the counter. The moment he came, she was all changed herself. What's the matter? And then she was explaining in a very low voice, this. He said, no, she has a ticket. This is clearly where it says in the passport that this is the name and it's LNU, and what is the problem? There's no problem. Please allow them to board in. Only one word he said, please allow them to board in with the same ticket. And well, he is gone and she did all the tickets and released. But believe me, there was hardly any time to clear the security and luggage and pass through. We suddenly, my customers were so good at that particular time, so understanding. Very fast they started giving the tagged luggages, and she also was very fast enough. And somehow we finished everything and ran to the security, finished security, went to the partly as the check-in counter again, and off to the flight. Just waiting, the flight is just waiting for us to board in. The moment we 35 members boarded, the flight put the shutter down. So this was another very magical experience which I had. It's a question of truth and untruth. It's a question of practice and unfairness. So sometimes if you think in your mind you are right, that there is a chance for you to get escaped, so you should try for it. Without knowing, without practicing, without experiencing, these things can't come on your own by overnight. If I had succumbed to her pointing fingers and shoutings and scoldings to me, firings to me, she was really firing at me quite often. She was thinking I'm one of the tour escorts who happened to be on the tour, not the owner of the organization, and it's not my agency who issued the ticket, kind of, I'm just a guide over there. But I explained her, I work in the same company. And I showed my identity, and it doesn't make any difference to her, because over there, the boss people, they don't go as the tour leaders, which of course, in SOTC, Thomas Cook, all the big companies, the MD or the vice presidents never travel on the tour as a tour escort with the flag and cap like Nalina Podwal. So this is something, a newer experience to her. And the tour escorts generally who go, so the guides who go, when there is a problem, they call the office. If they don't get the office or get the office, they immediately take money here and there and pay and clear it off and go. But when we do that, that gives solid encouragement to such airline counters to keep doing these mistakes again and again. So that is why I did not want to happen that to happen. I wanted to avoid it. I wanted to give a good practice, not a bad practice. So I succeeded over here. The next one, I'm taking you to Europe, my favorite destination, Europe and UK. I had a very big group of UK and Europe. This was about, I think, 10, 12 years ago, maybe 2008, something. I think we had this video with us probably. Or maybe 2007 or something, maybe 13, 14 years back. Here, the Europe tour we started from Rome, went to Pisa, Leaning Tower, etc., Venice, went to Milan, then we went to via Switzerland, Como and Zurich, Lucerne, Interlaken. We saw both the Jungfrau as well as all the Swiss mountains. Jungfrau Josch as well as Mount Everest both, and then we went to Paris. From Paris we were taking a Eurostar train to London. Okay, that was the last. So London we had about 3 nights, and that was the tour, getting over almost about 14-15 days tour. All were again some principals and vice principals and some businessmen and some of the retired professors. All this were the group, and most of them, I think all of them were 65 plus. In this group, they were that is individuals, lone men, lone women, and couples. After the tour in Paris, we had to take the morning Eurostar train to London. The train was something leaving about 10 o'clock. We had to be at 9 o'clock at the Eurostar railway station in Paris, Paris North Udigade. And we left the hotel, to leave the hotel by about, I think, 1 hour before we should reach the station. So that means another 1.5 hours before we should leave. And then according to the breakfast, etc., everything finished. We had given an assembling time, and all the members were present. I took the count. We found the one gentleman, he was a little older, he was missing in the group. So finally, after seeing the numbers, when we know the one member is missing, we started calling out the names. And we found who is the person who is missing. And I checked the rooming list. We found that is the person missing is in so and so room number. I tried to call him from down. He's not picking up the phone. I got very scared. Why the senior member not picking the phone means we first think about in our mind anything happened to him wrong. That's the first thought comes in our mind. Then I straight away ran to his room. I found he's in the room, but he was searching for something. I realized that he was searching for his contact lens. He was using probably, and that you are late, sir, what happened? No, I had a loose motion and I was a little late because of that. Okay, no problem, I had some upset stomach. All right, so let's go. No, I have to get this, otherwise I can't see. Now both of us somehow found, and we came to the bus. We put the luggage, and by then we were already late. Now the bus reached the Paris north. We took the luggages out. We marched to the Eurostar station, the platform. We understood this time up, and the train is already gone. Now the next train, when the first question. Second, will they allow with this old tickets to travel in the next train without paying for it, or will we get some concession? And this is all the questions. And who will pay such a huge amount? The group is something about 40 odd members, so that much money. And when you issue the Eurostar ticket last minute, that goes something about again 250-300 euros per person. That's a huge money, which end of the tour nobody will have that kind of money to use. अभी क्या करूँ, कुछ तो करना ही पड़ेगा. तो मैंने क्या किया, I told these people, നിങ്ങളെല്ലാവരും ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് അസംബിൾ ചെയ്ത് നിൽക്കൂ, മെല്ലെ ഈ സ്റ്റേക്കേഴ്സ് എസ്കലേറ്റർ കയറാൻ നോക്കൂ, അത് ലഗേജും കൊണ്ട് മെല്ലെ കയറണം. അത് കയറി കഴിയുമ്പോഴേക്കും ഞാൻ മേലെ പോയിട്ട് അവിടെ ഓഫീസിൽ പോയിട്ട് ചെക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ട് വരാം. അന്ന് അവരുടെ അങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു പോകേണ്ടത്. They said okay, we will do. And അതിലുള്ള കുറച്ചും കൂടി something little better, a little younger person who is little more knowledge person. I made him and his wife to take the lead for these people, make these people start in the escalator one by one, so that they know how to use the escalator. See, those days Lulu shopping mall or city center square undarnilla, so we had literally tried to teach them how to get in. That's not an easy thing for many people. So I organized this. Anyway, we have to find the solution. What's next, we don't know. So I took my luggage. I went first and I approached the office, and I did a lot of arguments and requests and convincing and all. Then somehow they said in 3 trains we can allot you the seats, not in 1. Then finally I had to agree, saying all those things. I kept my luggage. I'm just coming in 2 minutes with all the passport. They need the passports to be seen. And I came, I was coming down, I found there is nobody reached up. I asked why there is nobody reached on top. Then I found that they are not even anywhere around. So I went down to see. I was so surprised where I put them to assemble them to climb up. The same place all of them are standing and some sitting on the floor, and they were all very sad and tired. So I asked them, what happened? So they said, what happened is, as soon as I left, they all tried to come fast along with me, and as they climbed on top, there was one 88-year-old gentleman and his wife, something about 80-year-old, with them in the middle lead, because some of them already gone. The middle lead, the 88-year-old man, after reaching on top almost, he slightly turned to see his wife. Then his luggage fell onto his wife's luggage, and then he went to snatch it in a second. Then he fell to his wife fell to the next one, next one, next one. So throughout they fell down and they all reached down. But it was a miraculous escape because everybody fell onto one another, so there was no accident. By then the people saw and everybody came rushing and stopped the escalator and everything went fine. Okay, but this big trauma took place and all were scared and stunned and shocked. And they did not know where I am. So I came and I convinced all. First I tried to console all the people and took them all, and there was a lift a little far away. We took them to the lift, and from the lift we all one by one went because we yet had time to catch the next train. When I took them and went up and I explained the authority the story, what happened with the older people coming on a tour like this and see how much they are going through with the small errors for someone not having over there to oversee. They felt very bad, and you won't believe, without any problem, they allotted a single train for the whole group to go in one slot to London. That was a great achievement when you had a small fall. Not such a big fall. Luckily, it did not become a big fall because of God's grace. One fell on the other or on the luggage, so nothing went wrong actually. Otherwise, it would have been a very big tragic mistake. We wouldn't have been able to come to India, or we would have been over there sometimes admitted in the hospitals, because you see, as almost all of them are above the age of 60, 65 years. And you can imagine when I say 88 years and 80 years and what's happening. So this happened in the tour. And there were also a couple of doctors in the tour. But after that, when we got the tickets, we got the train, everybody boarded the train, and then they started talking about it and laughing and laughing and laughing. And then I think the whole trip of London on the way back, they were just talking about this and laughing at it. Because even I, after I speak to someone the same format, I also start laughing even now. But as I'm talking to you, I'm not laughing because I'm controlling. Imagine one falling the other one and just going down. So this was another experience which I had in the Europe UK tour.
Friends, I told you about some of the stories, experience which I had in America and also in Europe. There are many more. Now I'm going to give you an experience which not me but my 12 years during the GNS tours had during 2007. In this, there were two groups, again 40 passengers each, for Singapore and Malaysia. The first place was city was Singapore. Then we were going to Malaysia and coming back from Kuala Lumpur back to Singapore. I think this was a Silk Air flight with Singapore Airlines and Malaysia Airlines in between. That is, go Cochin, Kuala Lumpur, also from Trivandrum to Cochin, Singapore, and Trivandrum to Singapore also. And from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur by Malaysian Airlines or Singapore Airlines flight, and then from Kuala Lumpur back to Singapore and Singapore to Cochin by Silk Air flight. Yes, Silk Air started always like that. That was the flight. So the Singapore was for 2 nights, 2 days, and then there were 3 nights and 4 days in Malaysia. 1 night in Genningham, 2 nights in Kuala Lumpur. That was the flight. So this was conducted, of course, by us. The tour leader was my daughter Akila, who was, as I had my first journey, it was like she was about maybe 17, 18 years of age. And of course, accompanied by my brother. My brother, of course, is my elder brother, who is about good 5 years plus elder to me. But he was going to Singapore for the first time. But my daughter already had been through with me 2 or 3 times, and when she was going. I didn't want my daughter was willing to travel alone with such a huge group, but I did not want her to travel alone. I also wanted another person to accompany, but that is much better. It is her own uncle, he is accompanying, and he has not been to that segment. So they both have gone. They finished Singapore. That was 2 nights, 2 days. The first day they reached in the morning. Then they finished. Next day finished. The third day, the flight we booked was from Singapore to go to Kuala Lumpur by Singapore Airlines flight. That was to go in the evening around 4:30, I believe. I remember. So this flight, there was some problem that day with the airlines. This what happens problems only on the weekends. If it is a weekday, we have enough people and enough souls to correct them on time. This because it is the weekend, so the Sunday flight. So Saturday, the airlines decided to cut this particular flight, which were to go in the evening. The flight was at 4:30 or something. They decided, according to them, they informed, but it's a group ticket. So actually, we did not get any information. We were not aware of anything. There is a clause that we had to reconfirm the tickets 72 hours prior to departure. But the group reached Singapore itself is 72 hours before. So that itself is confirmed, and that time as she was in the counter, she already informed the flight next day Singapore Kuala Lumpur is on that particular day and time. And that time there were no changes. So the information was already given, so they cannot claim on it. Now, the 40 and 40 passengers group, they reached Singapore airport. The first group of 40 members, my daughter arrived, and the second group, my brother was coming. As soon as she landed, she did the same what I have explained her how to do. She kept the passengers a little away and took the flight list, the ticket list, and went to the counter saying prefer to have a group check-in, and this is the ticket list and this were the passengers. So as soon as they saw the list of in one ticket, all the members' names come and the ticket numbers and the segment comes. That is how the tickets those days, not individual tickets. They said this flight is already gone in the little before, about 2 hours before. So she said, no, we were not in. This is the time given. There's still another 2 hours to go. They said, no, there was some flight cancellation, so we have rescheduled the flights and it is so and so. Now what to do? So they said, immediately she called me. So I said, Mulu, first thing, you go to the Singapore Airlines office, which is at so-and-so place. Since I know very well, I could direct her how to go about. So she went to the, before going to airlines office, she just came back to the customer and said, so please be here. I'm just gone to Singapore Airlines office. There is some mess up with the flights. Don't worry, I'm taking care of it. So just be here. Don't move from me, be here. It will be difficult for me to collect you when I come back. The next group is coming, so please ask them also to be there. So immediately she went back to the airlines counter. She explained them all those things, and she made a call from there to me. And I spoke to them, and everything got cleared. And she was getting in the next flight the tickets. Is it okay? It's about, by then my brother's group arrived. As soon as arriving, the first group which already landed, they're waiting at the tank. They saw him coming and they know he's the, according to senior tour leader. As she left from there, the beginning, what they did is, we always had this inquisitiveness to know what's really happened. Though she told them not to move to be there, what they did, some of them went to the counter to find out what happened, why she's not here, where she went. So they informed them that the counter people are not responsible for the consequence. They said the flight is already gone. The next flight is not now, after 2 hours. So she's probably gone for the seats, but I don't think, we don't think the seats are available. We do not know. Something like they would have probably told. That's the airport counter staff. They do not have those days more responsibility than this much to utter about. Hardly they heard it. They just came back to the group, the balance of 30 people, and they brought them this information. See, our flight is gone. Now, no more flights. Everybody got panicked. That's the time my brother and the rest of the 40 members are just got down from the bus and walking to the counter. As and when he was walking away, these 40 members, some of them bent and bounced at him, saying, hey, look, you have done this, my flights are gone, this, what are we going to do? Take us back to Singapore, give us the hotel. My brother was just stunned, he doesn't know where I was there. And he's not a person from the travel agency background or airline background, anything as such. അപ്പോൾ അതൊന്നും അറിയില്ല. അദ്ദേഹം ഒരു സെക്യൂരിറ്റി ആയിട്ട് പിന്നെ പ്ലസ് ഒരു സീനിയർ മെമ്പർ എന്ന നിലയിലുമാണ് ടൂറിൻ്റെ കൂടെ പോയത്. അല്ലാതെ ഈ എയർലൈൻ പ്രോബ്ലംസ് ഒന്നും അങ്ങനെ അറിയുന്ന ഒരാളല്ല, അറിയില്ല. അദ്ദേഹം വേറൊരു ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയിലായിരുന്നു. He happened to come to Kerala, he was with us, so we just thought of giving this and she knows everything well, no problem. He was stunned, he doesn't know what to do, what ran. Not only that, the other members, the 40 members who came, some of them started almost to reach to him and try to manhandle kind of. You know, you know how are people when they get angry. We must not miss Kuala Lumpur and we cannot stay here, we need hot liquor medicine. But nothing has happened so far. There's no need to get panicked. This always to this I wanted to convey this message to my dearest passengers, my clients, future clients and the past clients. Never get panicked. The first one to get panicked are we, the travel agents. And as again I am quoting Mahatma Gandhi, to treat you as God and King. And we always in the humble most way. But there is a limitation. We try our best. That's our job. That's our duty. That's our responsibility. That's our mission. That's our passion. So when this took place, he was bewildered. He doesn't know what to do. He started getting panicked. And you know, when a person gets with so many people bombarding, he is already having some problem, I suppose, and he started reducing, getting pressure down, and almost the brink of collapsing. He suddenly sat on top of the suitcases. He could not. They thought that he's just sitting. He doesn't want to do anything. So they are asking him to do something. But he didn't understand a tell of it. As he was almost getting collapsed, luckily my daughter by then reached with a handful of boarding passes. So she said, what happened? And then whatever he has given to him, the shouting and the slogans and the worshipping formats, the balance they were 120, but then she being a very young girl of 18, 19, 18 years old, they probably thought only first version is gone. So second version is always only the reduced energy. She said, sir, why are you getting angry? This is not known to us. We have informed the 72 hours prior to departure as soon as we landed in Singapore airport. There is no need to do further anything. But they changed, the rescheduled. But we are getting another flight. You know, but you know, we miss, where we miss, we are reaching over the evening, there is no sightseeing to do. We are just going to go back to the hotel and rest, that's all. There is no need for you to get panicked. It's only the thing is, instead of getting 2 hours at the city in Kuala Lumpur or the hotel in Kuala Lumpur, you are reaching 2 hours later, that's all. No need to panic. She, although at such a young age, it's a remarkable, such a bold and such a beautiful step. Although she was controlling the pain in herself because her uncle is almost on the collapsing stage kind of. He's sweating, he's stuck, he couldn't take it. That kind of antagonist attitude from some of the people, not all of them, I'm sorry, some of them. But that's enough for a human being to, you know, finish his strength. He started sweating, as she says. So we conversed them, she communicated, and most of the people cooled down. But still there were some people trying to find fault with us. The travel agency fault, they would not have taken the tickets. They have the ticket which says very clearly Cochin, Singapore, or Trivandrum, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Cochin. Yet they say no tickets are taken for us. They're bluffing. They could not get that ticket. They're taking the next ticket. They've given a wrong information to us. You know, when you hear that, you feel so sad. Maybe they don't do it meaningfully. They don't do it wantingly. But when such things, such communication takes place after all the effort and trying to fix it, the collapsing stage. And then when you get a brick instead of getting a flower bouquet, young girl to a senior person, even the strong person like me cannot take it up. For a while, we really feel very sad, but we don't show. The show must go on. When the show must go on, we have no time, we have no opportunity, we have no chance to sit somewhere and cry over it. We just have to find next moment. Okay, give everybody's passport, let us organize the rest of the things. The next group, 40 members, had to go to the same thing. So she collected all the 40 passports, made her uncle comfortable. He by then started feeling okay because part of the work is done. Then he knew when she explained what is really gone through, what went through, what was the mistake, whose mistake. There is nobody's mistake. For some technical fault, the flight could not take off at the particular flight. And that's why the flight did not take off. But the airline counters the flight's gone because the flight probably number that are rescheduled or whatever. We do not know the technicality what they adopt at that particular time and what the boys told. And it's a holiday to even find out in back in Kochi. And those days the airlines had started operation, but not like today's matter. And we did not go to social media the way today we are. So that episode was somehow convinced, and she took the whole ticket bundle again to the airline staff, and she got for the next flight. And that was not next flight, there was no next flight to Silk Air, so they got it done for Malaysian Airlines. So that was the next point. Why not in Singapore Airlines? As such, it's only about 45 minutes flight from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur. There is no food given, it's just only a cup of tea, which even Malaysian Airlines flight gives a cup of tea and a small cookie packet at that time. But no, why not in by the Singapore Airlines? They tried to make some money out of it, so they pushed us to Malaysian Airlines. It is not so. It is how difficult it was for this young girl to convince them with the group and get this ticket of the Singapore Airlines rescheduled and posted to Malaysian Airlines in exchange for is a very difficult one because they have to first get it communicated to the city office, they have to accept, they have to authorize, and then it has to go to again Singapore Airlines head office in Singapore, then it has to go back to the airport. It's not that easy as we think that we just pick up and put a stamp. No, it's a very, very difficult job at times. Today, it is very difficult, just impossible. Those days, just the travels have started picked up in Kerala. Kudos and grateful to Mr. Santosh Church Kulangara, whose Sancharam by now started a lot producing the slots, and people are aware of many things. Finally, she got the other 40 passengers tickets, all done to Malaysian Airlines, came back and convinced everybody, and she made the arrangements to get some tea coffee for other people over there, and they all started boarding the flight. And till they boarded the flight, believe me, some of them were really, irritating my brother and my daughter. And after that, after Kuala Lumpur, they returned to Cochin without any other damage, another problem. But after that, my brother said, never ever I will go with any of your tour. Even you say you take me to America free of charges, Europe free of cost, no way, I will not go on any tour as a tour leader. I can go as a passenger, but never as a tour leader. Because that is like giving one's life sometimes. Sometimes when we say certain words that probably for us is just on anxiousness or may really not willfully or meaningfully, just be got out. But that hurts. Those words are very harsh at times for the person who is hearing it. May not be for the person saying it. Saying it hurts very badly. May not be for the person who is saying it, but for the person hearing it. And that remains with echo throughout the rest of their lives. This is one reason why many tour operators in the beginning stage they go as tour leaders, the bosses. Once they become the boss, after some time, they stop going as a tour escort. They give this job to the youngsters. The local guide, this problem is not there. The local guides, you see what they do. They work for 4 hours or 8 hours or for even 10, 12 hours locally. Their responsibility, the accountability is less. Whereas when you go as a tour leader, the accountability is so much that 24 hours you are on toss. You are at work. You cannot think of without the group, taking out the group even for a minute or so. Actually for us, it starts at the time when we start advertising, when they book. And then when our customers go on the tour, finish the tour 100% successfully, happily, bring them back to the airport in Cochin or Trivandrum. Till then, even after, till they get out of the airport, it's a worry for us. It's a tension for us. It's a big tension. No business, according to me, has this much tension which a tour operator faces. Travel agent, as a travel agent, does not have to face this much of tension because he issues the ticket, that's the visa, push him up to the airport, and he goes, and whatever happens, that is his problem because he doesn't book the ticket, hotels or sightseeing. Even if he does, also he's traveling independently. He makes a call from there. It's okay. But the toilet who goes from here with them as a toilet escorting throughout, if in a hotel the lift is not working, that's the fault of the tour operator. If in the group, the buffet, the puppets are not given, or the puppets are broken, or it is little dull, soft, that's a mistake. So it goes like this. So we want the best to happen, we pray for the best to happen, and we really cherish the moments which when the customers say, thank you, the tour was very good. And that is that 1 minute we wait for. For that, we do a tremendous job. Yet we try to face the problems and we smile at them while servicing. So the service with a smile, that is the slogan of our tour escorting job. Even if we get a phone call from our family that somebody died or somebody is sick or some other problem here, we do not have time to listen to that. We listen. We have to keep that, bury that within ourselves. നമുക്കത് എക്സ്പ്രസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല, നമുക്കതിനെ പറ്റി വേവലാതിപ്പെടാൻ പറ്റില്ല, हम कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते हैं उस टाइम पे क्योंकि हमारे साथ ग्रुप है. ग्रुप को देखना बहुत मुश्किल है. उनके सामने ये बाकी सब जो अपना खुद का जो परेशानियां हैं वो एकदम दूर रखना चाहिए. उसके ऊपर हम खड़े रहेंगे या उसके बारे में सोचेंगे तो नेक्स्ट गाड़ी छूट गई वैसे. बिकॉज लुकिंग आफ्टर द 24 hours into 60 minutes, into 60 seconds is a terrific and a tremendous job.
My dear friends, this I'm explaining you through these videos not to boost myself or my work, but to give precautions to the future tour escorts, the tour operators. There are a lot of them coming as young generations forward. After the COVID, that's post-COVID area, there'll be a good boost for the tourism in India as well as abroad. So at least what has happened is happened. For the future, this will help the valued customers as well as the staff at large working for the tour operators. So I am coming to you with more and more experiences in the next episodes. I request you, it will be my honor to have you subscribing, pressing the bell button, liking, and putting your valued comments so that I know how it goes, where it goes, and when should it be. Is it going to be useful? I also request all the tour operators to view this and make your comments. As I told you, this is not I'm doing for something for professionalism. Just I'm doing what I felt and what I could express. But believe me, it's for you, only for you. Thank you.